Hey traders, John Hell here, and today I actually want to share with you a few things. Firstly, I want to share with you my thoughts about what's happening with gold. Gold, I believe, is going to have a massive breakout, and why I believe that as well too. Also, I want to talk to you about the one stock that there's a few stocks here actually, but the one main stock that to me I believe could produce one of the greatest returns over the next 12 months than we've seen in probably a long time. And you know what, guys? And probably a lot of other stuff that I'm just gonna filter through this training for you as well too. So let's go straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. All right, traders. So let's get straight into it. Traders, as you know, I've been running a webinar lately to all the details to my #1 trading system. Very first thing in the description. Today is your last day to get access to that training that I'm running with that webinar. So if you haven't seen it yet, you need help with your trading, this is your last time, because then after today, I'm taking down the webinar, and then this is the last time you can actually get access to that webinar. So guys, very first thing in the description, go get that right now, because today is the last day I'm running it. And the reason why is because I'm going to be honest with you, on that webinar, I offer a massive discount to my coaching program, and I'm actually taking down that discount because I'm going to close it down and then open my coaching program at the end of this year for the full price. And that's the reason why I've been running this webinar. So, but today is the last day to actually get access to the training and also the discount. So go get access to that right now, guys. Otherwise, at the end of the year, it's full price. So there's a few things that I'm seeing here. Let's actually start with the S&P 500. I hope you guys, if you've been following me now for the last few months, I hope you can see that if you've been, the #1 thing to do right when actually trading these markets is to have that understanding that if you were short these markets, or if you were thinking these markets were going to go down, but they don't, that's where it's important for you, right? To say, you know what, whoa, something's not working out here. Something's not right. So as you know that I've been bullish, and I've been, let me just take all this off the screen here. I've been bullish, the S&P 500 and the markets, you know, in general for majority of this year, as you guys know, right? And it's so important that that if you were thinking something about these markets, about if you were short these markets especially, maybe you're still short. Please don't be. Or if you were looking at these markets in a way where you're like, okay, all this bad news is happening right now, it's definitely going to crash the markets, but it didn't do that. The reality of the situation is the market went up. That's where it's so important. This could be the greatest point in your lifetime to transform the way that you do things in the markets. Now, if you're a one and done guy, meaning you're here for a quick hit, you got to blow up your account and you leave the markets because you believe the trading is not for you, then this is obviously not for you, right? But the thing is that if you are that type of person who has been short, say the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, because you thought, okay, this is the biggest bubble in history, because I saw so many people over the last couple of months as I've been doing these videos, and I did a video yesterday talking about how I saw this update here on the Nasdaq or the S&P 500, and then away we go. Anyway, the whole purpose of me saying that is not to say, look at me, look how right I am. By the way, I did get it right. Well, actually, I haven't got it right yet. I set a 5,000 print by the end of this year. This thing could just keep could crumble here. But the most important part, guys, is that if you did get it wrong, meaning you saw all these people out there saying the market's going to crash, and you saw all these bad headlines out there, and you saw all these things out there that said the market's going to crash, and you actually went and placed a trade based off that, and you actually lost some money, then don't be hard on yourself, right? Because we all go through this situation. I've gone through this a few times in my life, and the very last time I did this when Trump got elected. I'm not here to bash you. I'm not here to look down on you. But what you're learning right now, if you are like that, could be the greatest opportunity for you to generate some serious wealth from these markets because of what you're learning right now. But please learn the lesson. Look at the reality. It's okay, what did I actually miss? See, that's the reason why I'm talking to you right now, is because that's exactly what happened to me back in 2016. I would have my trading system, right? So I trade the markets for income. Plus also I have my sort of investing type approach. If you, again, on that webinar, I teach you my trading for income approach. I teach you all the details to my trading system. But the thing is this, is that when I was looking to place some more investing positions, maybe a 6-month, 12-month view type thing, when Trump got elected, I was short the markets because everything that's happening right now underneath the surface, everything's happening right now in front of our faces. I thought, well, surely this market's going to crash, right? Surely this market is going to go down, and surely we're going to see this market completely fall apart. You know what I mean? When Trump got elected, because everything that's happening right now on the face of it was exactly what's happening. What is exactly what happened when Trump got elected, right? Market's going to crash, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is so bad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? But then you've got all these other things out there that look so bad. But if you look at the fundamentals of this, the main important things that keep pushing these markets around, like I've been talking about with these videos, which is like the QE, even interest rates, which do push these markets around. Interest rates hadn't even started rising. Raising? What is it? Is it rising or raising, guys? Interest rates didn't start rising or raising to actually start to put the brakes on for the markets to slow down. That was one of the big keys that I missed. I'm like, hang on, the Fed didn't even actually start to put on the brakes. So that was one big major thing that I missed. And so guess what happened? What happened was I had close to $500,000 short position on when Trump got elected. As soon as I knew that I was completely wrong, I got out for about $150,000 or so loss at the time. Throughout the rest of the year and the next year, I made all that back plus a lot more with my trading system. Again, in the webinar below, I teach you all that. Because the reason I'm saying that, guys, is because even if you don't join my coaching program, I teach you my trading system. I'm just going to teach you all the details to it. If you follow it, you'll crush it. And so the reason why I say that, guys, is that please don't bash yourself, okay? Please don't be hard on yourself if you have been seeing these markets the wrong way. And if you've been wondering, like, why is this market going through such a big move? I just don't get it. If you've been one of my haters and say, John, you've been completely wrong over the last few months about these markets going up, then don't be hard on yourself, right? Because the best thing you can do, just like I had to do back when Trump got elected, is say, okay, I have to figure this out. I've missed something big here. And so I started digging deep, and I started and thanks to Ray Dalio, right? Ray Dalio is the man. He is the man. I really started studying and understanding his stuff from the big debt crises and the big debt cycles and the booms and bust cycles and what makes them booms, what makes them bust. And there's really only a few major things, right, that pull the levers of what's happening in the market. And so this time around, when I'm starting to see that thing again, I was on the other side, or I am on the other side. So instead of me being short this market, I've been long this market for many months, right? For the majority of this year. And I'm enjoying this right up. So because I'm on the other side of that, and that's what's going to happen to you as well too. Okay, traders. So if you have been on a journey where you've been losing money, the best thing you can do is sit back and say, okay, then what did I miss? What did I not see? Because if you do that, and don't do it in a way where you're like, oh man, I'm shit, I'm hopeless, I can never make a move from this. Don't do it from this. So you know what? No, I need to sit back and I need to look at the truth of this, not the talking heads out there and what the media is saying, but I need to figure out the truth about what did I actually miss if I have been wrong in these markets. Whatever is the way that I'm approaching these markets is just like, what did I actually miss? Why is the market still going up when I thought the market was going to crash? What is causing this market to go up? When you start to ask those questions, you start to get so much more different insights. Again, just like I had when Trump got elected, that has caused me now, many years later, to be in the same situation of the same sort of herd mentality, that I can capitalize on the other side now and do really well from it. Now, I don't know, this could be the top in the markets, but right now, I don't see this being the top in the markets. We're probably likely to get pullbacks. It's not going to keep going up forever, right? Nothing does, but we do get pullbacks. And we're probably going to get some of these pullbacks like here and so on and so forth. So that's the first thing I want to start off with, guys, is just don't beat yourself up, okay? Trading is a hard thing. Trading is a difficult thing. And one of the reasons why is because we see the when the herd mentality is saying something, we believe that to be true to the markets. The herd mentality when Trump was getting elected was the market's going to crash. That was the subscriptions, newsletters, and so on and so forth, right? And they had that completely wrong. And so that's the first thing I do say there, guys, in the markets. Now, I also talked about the two big stocks that I'm looking at right now when it comes to my trading, or when it comes to me looking at investing opportunities, right? So I talked about this the other day, but I really want to sort of preface this before I get into these couple of different stocks here. And this is this, and it is this, okay? Through history, if you look back in history, when has been the best time to buy something in the stock market, or even in the property market, right? When's it been the best time? The best time was what? When things were turning to custard and it looked like it was never going, and it was just so bad, right? It was just so bad. So when we look at that and we look back in times, right? When was the best time to buy US property? When the property market crashed, over 12 months back in 2008. Moving to 2009, 2010, if you bought property then and held it to today, guess what? You're doing well. When was the best time to buy the stock market? Same thing, right? When the market, 2008, 2009, and where we are today. When was the best time to buy the banking sector? When the whole banking sector was collapsing, right? It looked like it was going to be game over for the banking sector. When was the best time to do that? It was what? It was when the whole banking sector looked like it was going to collapse, right? It was like devastation. When is the best time to buy any market out there? When things look completely haywire. And that's I'm talking about just in cycles in general, guys. Like I had a mentor of mine, and I've learned this over the last 15 or so years now, and seeing my mentor, like for example, here in Australia, anyway, there's the Gold Coast, right? And Gold Coast property market about 15, 16 years ago went through a massive collapse, right? About 60% of the property market crashed. He went and bought in there and bought this beautiful mansion for $1 million or $2 million, $1 to $2 million. Beautiful mansion on the water. 15 years later, guess what? It's now worth $4, $5, maybe $6 million right now. So you see what I'm saying, right? There's opportunities in disasters if we look for them. And because the herd mentality, if something's really bad, people think, oh, it's going to be really, really bad forever. And then when it gets really good, people think it's going to be good for forever. So when we're looking at these markets here, I want you to preface that, right? So if I look at something like oil, right? And again, I'm not saying oil has anything to do with the stocks I'm going to talk about here. People are like, John, just shut up and just tell us the one stock. I'm trying to give you the tools, guys. So throughout the rest of your life, you can look, okay, here we're going through a really bad situation right now. Maybe it's a good time to start to buy something, right? And I did this last year with the whole vid situation, right? When the market completely had this black swan meltdown, guess what I was doing? I was buying the market, right? In face of everything. If you guys are with me back then, you know I was doing that. You can even look at the videos. Anyway, so right here is when oil went negative, right? So all down through here, back in the start of last year, oil went negative. Really, 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 really bad, right? When was the best time to buy oil? Best time was buy oil when things were getting really, really bad. You may not have gotten the bottom, but maybe 12 or maybe even 20, right? It's the best time to buy it is when it looks really, really bad. Again, it's just understanding the cycles of things, right? And so it's important that as an investor, we understand the truth of things. If I'm looking to place a position to capitalize on the growth over the next maybe 1 or 2 years as an investor, or property market over the next 10 or so years to really capitalize on trends, I want to make sure that I'm buying at the best time. Buy low, sell high, right? So when I'm looking at these markets, when I see things just getting absolutely collapsed, then things like, oh, there's an opportunity there. The first one is Barber. Okay, so we have seen Barber being completely just smashed through here. So I believe that I'm not actually in Barber right now, guys. So full transparency, I'm not actually in Barber right now. I'm waiting for some sort of a pattern on the markets to tell me that this is a good time to start entering these markets. Right now, I'm not entering it, but I believe that a company like Barber is going to start to present some really good opportunities soon, You know, and it may be forming maybe a bit of a head and shoulder formation right now, as you can see. All right, so you got like potentially you have this sort of shoulder, this head. This actually could be some sort of right shoulder. I'm not saying it's definitely going to be, but we need some sort of right shoulder. If that happens, then we're probably going to see something like that at a barber. Makes sense, traders? And so that's the first thing there. But why am I looking at barber? Because barber's been getting smashed from your regulators. What's going to happen after, you know, after something gets smashed like this, which is such a good company? What's likely to happen, right? You come back and and again, I'm not saying that the market's stopped right now. This thing could keep going lower, right? That's the problem with, you know, that's the reason why I don't just trade fundamentals. Because you can have a really good fundamentally company like Barber, it's worth $300, but it's now trading at 150, right? That's like let's go shopping because this is on discount. So, you know, if you look at this here and then suddenly like, you know, 2 years later, this thing's making new highs, you're like, oh, look at Barber go, you know, and so on and so forth. Just like it did back here. The first thing, it spent 2015 down here. Oh, excuse me. And then the market had a big rise. So that's the first one there, okay? The next one here is also the Evergrande. Like I'm looking at this Evergrande and Evergrande's absolutely just fallen off a cliff, right? So once again, traders, the oil market has nothing to do with Evergrande, the property market, and so on and so forth, right? But what I'm talking about here is that just understanding cycles of how nature and how these markets work. And we can start to really get a grasp on, okay, through history, the best time for me to buy something was when things were looking really, really, really bad. Property market, 2009, stock market, 2009. When was the best time to buy some stocks? Last year, right? When we thought the market, when the whole world was going to turn into a global depression. So I'm looking at this here right now, and I'm not in Evergrande right now. I need to see some sort of a pattern. For me, guys, I need to see something, right? So like I've got these two lines down here, especially this 188 down here. That's actually that's the major low that Evergrande has never been down to in the past. If I actually let me show this back here. That's the reason why. So if I go back to here when it actually was first launched, you can see this line down the bottom here. That's that major low point. The reason why that's important is that because sometimes when the market when the market creates a final low in the market, it'll flush down really quickly, and then it'll create like this sort of V bottom slingshot pattern. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know I love that pattern. You know, I'm actually in a trade right now that's just doing, you know, a few 100% return so far, just based off that pattern. Anyway, and so the thing is that it creates like a bit of a slingshot move, right? So I'm looking to see, again, I'm not in Evergrande. I don't just jump in anything. I'm looking to see some sort of a pattern to get into Evergrande, because why? One, the market has been absolutely just getting smashed here. So if we get something like this, that move down, and then we get something like that, and then a strong move back up with volume, guess what? That's probably going to be a final low in this complete devastation on Evergrande. And then before you know it, 2 years later, or even 12 months later, we're seeing what? Let's actually move this here. 12 months later, we're seeing a massive, massive just rocket ship out, and we're back up here at 18. And maybe 2 years later, or even 3 years later, this thing's back up and making new highs. And you're like, oh my goodness, look at that thing go, right? And it's just the way you can see it, right? And you can see even back through, like, look at this back through here, right? You can see here that these situations here, right, when the market started to just, look at that there. I love that. This is, if you've ever heard me talk about the calm before the storm, this is what I talk about here, right? When the market goes sideways like this, get excited. Like, we're looking at a daily chart right now. You can see this did nothing for many years, and then a big move to come, right? What else has been doing nothing for a long time right now? I'll let you guys think about that. So anyway, traders, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, here's a couple of different stocks, but not only the stocks, but a learning mentality of around, you guys can do so well, right? But you're gonna fall on your face, like I did, having a $500,000 short position when Trump got elected. You know, and again, I didn't lose all that money, but you know the story that I've talked about today. And so, traders, you can do so well. Just try to say, okay, where did I go wrong? What is the truth of this? And the reason why is because not to beat yourself down, but so you can just become a much better trader and investor. And with this knowledge, you can actually start to be on the right side moving forward.